Hi kindergarten, it's Miss Sherwood again. We are going to talk about some of the other papers for math in your packets. The next one that we're going to talk about looks like this. Now there's 2 pages that are like this in your packet. One page already has 1 row done for you. And so I'm going to do this with you again. So when you look over here, you are going to first count the dots that are in this square. Now you can use a pencil, a crayon, a pen, whatever you have to write the answers on here. So I am going to use a marker so that you can see it on the video. When I look at this first one, remember the dots are in a 10 frame, so that's going to help you count. Now if you need to count each dot, you can do that. So you can go 1, 2, 3, or you can do it the way we have learned, which is the count on. How many dots are always on top when it's full? There's 5. So if there's dots up here and down here, then you know that there's 5 across here. So you would say 5, 6. Now make sure you touch the dots so that you don't accidentally count a dot twice. So count how many are there. 5, 6. So then I am going to write the number in the circle. 6. Then in the rectangle, it tells you to draw the same number but going up and down. So I am going to draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So then you can see it's still in a 10 frame, but it's going up and down. So 5, 6. Then in the oval, it tells you to write them scattered. That means all over the place. It doesn't have to be in a 10 frame way. So I could draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now remember, this is 6, so this has to be 6. These have to be 6, and this has to be 6. It's the same number. So now let's do one more. We're going to do this one right here. So I see dots on 2 lines, so that means that this is going to be 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's 5 plus 3, which makes 8. If you need to count all the dots, you can, but remember, if there's 2 lines, it's 5, 6, 7, 8. So that means right here, I'm going to write the number 8. Then I'm going to do the same thing. I have to make 8 in here going up and down, and I'm going to do it in a 10 frame way. So that means I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's 8 here, 8 here, and 8 here. Then I can do it scattered. That means wherever you want. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So now I have 8. And it would be nice if you would go back and recount them just to make sure that you have the same number going up and down. Okay? Now remember, you can use a pencil, crayon, markers, whatever it is that you have at home you can use to do this. Now, there's 2 of those pages in there for you to do, and you can always take a picture and show me so I can see how well you are doing. And also, if you ever need help with your packet stuff, we can do a video like this where we talk together and we could do the packets together. I could play bingo with you doing our video, or I can do these other pages. Okay, There's another page that looks like this, and this is drawing one more. So remember from our bingo, more means bigger. So you have to do one more. So when I look here, it says count the balloons and then draw one more. So if I count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, I have to draw one more. So if I have 4 and I add one more, how many is it? 5. So you are going to write a 5 in that square. Okay, let's do one more. Let's go down to this one. So I am going to count first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, sometimes they don't have it in a 10 frame on these because they're pictures. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and then comes 5. So when it's the pictures, make sure you don't say 5, 6, 7 because there's only 4 here. So let's go back and count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's 8, and I need to draw one more. So you could make it look like a basketball or just draw a circle. So if I have 8 and I draw one more, 8, 9. So then I am going to write the 9 right there. And you can use crayons to do these, pencils, anything that you have at home. So let's do another page. Ooh, this one, it has a lot of writing up here and a lot of number bonds on the bottom. So let's talk about how to play this. It wants you to get 10 items, so 10 things that you can put in front of you or in a bag. It says you can do Q-tips, beans, paper clips, Cheerios, anything like that. I am going to use goldfish, and I already have them in my bag here. If you want to make it harder, you could do more than 10, and I can show you what that would look like. If 10 is too hard, then you can do a smaller number. So I have 10 in here, and since 10 is how many we have all together, it is the total, the bigger number, I am going to write on one of my number bonds, I'm going to write the 10 on top because that's our total. So I'm going to write 10. Now remember on number bonds, part, whole. This number plus this number equals this number because it has lines going here. So if you have 10 minus this number, what equals this? Or this plus this needs to equal that number since it has the lines coming out. So I have 10 goldfish in my baggie. And I'm just going to close my eyes. You can even just put them down on the table. You don't have to put them in a bag. And I'm going to pick some out. So now we're going to count how many I pulled out. 1, 2, 3, 4. So then I am going to write 4 as one of my parts. So I'm going to write a 4 right there. So if I have 4, how many more do I need to make 10? You can use what you know in your brain, or you could use your fingers, or you can go and count how many are left. Now, Miss Sherwood's going to just use her brain. So I'm thinking you can say, okay, if I have 4, how many more do I need to make 10? Or you could say, I have 10 minus 4. Whichever way you want to do it. So I know that 4 plus 6 makes 10. So that means that this number has to be 6. Then I could go back and count how many are left in the baggie to make sure that there's 10 in there. Okay? Now, if you want to make them harder, you could add more in there. So this time I'm going to put 12 goldfish in there. So I have 12 in here. So that means I need to look at my number bond and think about where the big number goes. It's part, whole. Remember, whole is these numbers together. So that means I'm going to write my 12 in that spot right there. Then I'm going to take my bag, and I'm not going to look, or you can just have them on the table and just grab some. So I'm going to grab some, and we are going to count how many I grabbed. Now this is only if you want to make it harder. You do not have to do more than 10. So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So then 6 is one of my parts. So I'm going to write a 6 right here. Now 6 plus this number have to make 12. Or you could say 12 minus 6 equals this number. So if it's harder, you can go back and count those. Since we did 12, it's going to be hard to use your fingers, but I've seen some of you do it, and you need to figure out what the missing number is here. So I know that the missing number is 6. 6 plus 6 equals 12. Now, if you want to show how really smart you are, you could write the problem. 6 plus 6 equals 12. Or you can do subtraction. So my bigger number is here, so when you subtract, your whole goes first. When you add, your whole goes last. Okay? So 10 minus 6 equals 4. Now, if 10 is too hard, you can do less than that. So I am going to do the number 8. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 goldfish in here. So what is my whole if I have 8? We're going to check your answer. The number was 8 and it goes here. That's our whole. So then I need to figure out my two parts. Part, whole. So I'm going to pick however many I grab. Hard to grab them with one hand. Okay, so let's count how many I have. 1, 2, 3. So I have to write 3 as one of my parts. Now I'm going to show you how you can do it using your fingers. Okay, so my whole is 8 and my part is 3. So how many could I take away? 1, 2, 3. How many do I have left? 5. So I'm going to write 5 as my other part. Then you can write your problem. You could do 8, because that's our whole. 8 minus 3 equals 5. You can do adding too. You could do both. One subtraction, one adding. So it would be 3 plus 5 equals 8. If you forget where your whole goes on your problem, go back and check it. If this number minus this number does not equal this, then you have your numbers in the wrong spot. So make sure you go back and double check where they are. I hope you have enjoyed this video, and remember, if you need help, we can talk to each other through a video and we could do it together. And I would also love to see pictures of your stuff that is done. I will see you later.